I'm Alba from Lanas Llobillos, and in this tutorial I will show you how to pick up stitches in one side to continue knitting to the side. Here you can see the stitches that goes from the bottom to the top in a stockinette stitch, and this is the side. Here you can see the knots that we have. We start in the corner, and I usually make a knot with the two tails of the yarn because it's easier for me. So place the needle in the first stitch and pick up the yarn. It's a bit difficult at the beginning, but don't give up. Now you can see that in the side you have knots and a space between knot and knot. We pick up one stitch in the knot and one stitch in the space between knot and knot. Now we pick up one stitch between knots Here we have the knot. In the middle of the knot you have a hole, so you have to place the needle in the hole and pick up the yarn. Continue between the knots, pick up the yarn, and now in the knot. Between knots and in the knot. And repeat the same to arrive at the end of the side. Once we have all the stitches, now we can knit normally. In this case, we continue with the stockinette stitch. We knit the first stitch and work purl stitch to the end of the row. Continue with the stockinette stitch, making one row with knit stitch. And it has to look like that. Here we have the previous part from the right to the left, and now the new part from the bottom to the top. Now we are going to pick up stitches in all this part with another color. So repeat the same, pick up the stitches, remember, pick up one stitch on each knot and one stitch between each knot. Now, in this part, we have to pick up one stitch for each stitch of the previous part. So pick up one stitch on each stitch. And continue to the end of the row. We also continue with the stockinette stitch, so knit the first stitch and work purl stitch to the end. And here you can see the different directions that you can take while you are knitting. I used this technique to knit a rib stitch edge in a vest.